Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Reggie, aka Metablock Reggie. Today, we're going to be representing for Enigma. We're going to talk to a few amazing people. Today, it's going to be Jay Joshua. The reason we're doing this is because we truly want people to understand what we're doing here at Enigma. We put together an all-star cast of strategic alliances, and we did this because we didn't want to just do everything ourselves. We wanted to find the best of the best out there. And by us finding the best of the best, we're going to be able to give you the best information about forex. We're going to give you the best information about crypto and all the other amazing technologies we have. So without waiting too much longer, Jay, I want to go ahead and bring you on, and I want the audience to learn more about you as far as who you are, some of the things you have done, all the amazing accomplishments, and more importantly, why you chose to bring all of your technology over here with Enigma. So go ahead, take the stage, Jay. I want to first learn a little bit about you.
Thank you very much, Reggie. I grew up in a very rural, poor environment, and so I knew I was an entrepreneur probably before most people know that they're an entrepreneur. And I've done just about everything that I can think of on the internet. And so when cryptocurrency, and I couldn't even pronounce it correctly when it came out, when it started to come out in 2010, 2011, I decided, hey, I don't understand it, but I think this makes sense for where the world is going to go. And so I jumped in a little bit. And unfortunately, I made the same mistake that a lot of people make. I got impatient, and I was buying Bitcoin for under $100, and I sold Bitcoin for under $100. And if I had held that Bitcoin today, I would be like Oprah. You would get a car, Reggie. Everybody would get, we might all just get yachts, okay? I bought and sold more Bitcoin under $300 than anyone I've ever met. And it's hurtful to think about it, but at the same time, I remind myself that the opportunity of a lifetime in this space can happen every day for those that are patient and those that are educated. And so what got me most excited about the opportunity to join this all-star cast here at Enigma was some conversations that I had early on where I was very firm and I said, look, I'm only willing to do this if I can share with people what I think is an honest and accurate way to understand crypto and to trade crypto, because security is really important. Understanding not necessarily what's in the news today, but what exists today that could be in the news tomorrow. That's really what I'm thinking about, is what is going to come next. And so I was really firm and I said, well, I don't want to talk about this, and I do want to talk about this, and I don't want to talk about this, and I do want to talk about this. And everybody's head was just nodding, Reggie, and they were like, yeah, okay, that's why we have you here. And I was like, okay, that's it. If we have an opportunity to educate people as accurately as we can, and as patiently as we can, then I know that we can create a lot of success stories here. And that is really what got me the most excited. And one more thing that I'll share with you about my journey. And this is another very expensive lesson that I try to teach everyone that I meet. Is back in 2014, the early part, we turned one of my call centers into a Doge mining center. And over 2014, we were just crazy mining. There's still well over 11 million Doge on the blockchain right now, and I think we mined 21 or 22 million back then. But there's still over 11 million on the blockchain today that I actually own with my group here. But we can't access them because we left all of our crypto in a hot wallet, which is what an exchange is. A CEX, a centralized exchange, is also often known as a hot wallet. We left all of our crypto there, trusting that they had our best interest at heart and that they had the people to take care of it. Well, unfortunately, that exchange is no longer in business, and we no longer have access to our crypto, and I didn't move it over to my own private wallet, like a Trezor or a software wallet that you might have on your computer. If I had, Reggie, I would have millions of dollars worth of Doge right now. And I bring that up because it's not just about educating people on the potential of cryptocurrency and blockchain projects, but it's also educating them on the safety and the security of their crypto that is really important to me. And we all take risks in life, but it is important to take calculated risks and for people to know what those risks are. Having your crypto or portion of your crypto on an exchange is awesome because you have instant access to be able to trade it, to be able to liquidate it, to be able to move it around. The downside of that is that you have that exposure there where your account could get hacked, the centralized exchange could get hacked, etc. So, Reggie, what I really want to be able to do is to support this community with honest education so that people understand what's possible, they understand what the risks are to the best of our ability to discern them, and to be able to trade and to interact in this unique and evolving space as safely as possible from a technology perspective. And then, of course, and this is the most fun, to understand how cryptocurrency can be traded. One of the unique things that came out of that experience back in 2011, 2012, and then 2014 and 2015 is that we tasked our programmers with building trading algorithms that would allow people to basically take advantage of the natural oscillation of the market. And if you look at any market out there, it's just oscillating. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. And it seemed pretty obvious to me at the time that if we could figure out how to buy when it was low and then sell when it was high and then buy when it was low and sell when it was high, that we would have an opportunity to be successful. And I learned that, by the way, Reggie, from my grandfather, who said really the smartest thing he ever said to me was the simplest thing, and that was buy low, sell high. And it really is that simple. So over the years, we dabbled with this trading algorithm. We finalized it in early 2021, and we went to market with it. And we've had a really strong success with this, Reggie. And it can be plugged into exchanges in just about every country around the world where the country itself is crypto friendly, and that includes the US. So I'm excited to talk with this community not only about that, but also about our moving averages trading system, which helps people understand when to enter the market and potentially when to exit the market on a swing trading, positional trading style. So with that, Reggie, hey, I'm super excited to be here. I have so much to share, and I can't wait to have the opportunity to start doing that.
Thank you, Jay. That was definitely a lot of information. And here at Enigma, we think that that's important. We want people to understand all about crypto and not just, I mean, some people do use different types of algorithms and things like that, but to understand the technology is what we really feel is important. To understand if you're going to get involved in crypto or certain cryptos, maybe you should understand the actual technology behind it also. And that's what we always tell people. So just having powerful people like you who actually understands and who gets it from a psychological level and just for the way that it's moving, period, that's definitely important for our community. And let's talk about that Doge. The funniest thing is that I always tell people this too. When I first got involved in crypto, it was around 2009 and 10, right when it first started. Operation Wall Street happened. I was with a bunch of hacker friends and they were like, hey, check this out, because I grew up programming. And so when I checked it out, I was like, okay, cool. So we started doing our thing, getting involved. I didn't know too much about it. So I always tell people I've lost more crypto than most people have ever gotten because of the fact that I didn't understand how to properly secure my crypto. It was just nothing when I wrote down different passwords and stuff. I was like, oh, it's not a big deal. And you know, it's funny. It's like I had one account. I lost the wallet information. And I just tried, I would say, over 6 months. Every time I seen the market go up, I'll just go back and try to figure out the password. Go back. It was like post-traumatic stress, man. So the importance of people understanding crypto and understanding the security and understanding how to protect is very important. Because as you know, you've been around since Mt. Gox. I mean, when that happened, most people have no idea what Mt. Gox is, but can you explain shortly what happened, like in it, like just quickly, so people can understand and why it's important for people to see what can happen possibly today?
Well, with Mt. Gox, they were hacked. And some of the hackers were found and some of the assets were actually gathered together by the government. And there was an opportunity, by the way, for me to fill out a form to make a claim on the Bitcoin that I had there. And at the time, that Bitcoin would have only been worth $3,000 or $4,000. So being a very busy person, being an entrepreneur, I said, I don't have time for that crap. And I did not fill that out. Had I filled that out, I might have even been able to claim 10% of that Bitcoin, which could be a lot of money today, right? So that's what happened with Mt. Gox. Now, BTC-E was a little bit different, and that's where I lost my Doge. BTC-E wasn't hacked, but they were found specifically by the U.S. government to be doing some money laundering. And so because they were supposedly doing some money laundering, and I don't know if they were or not, and specifically with the crypto from Mt. Gox, because there's only so much Bitcoin. That's one of the things that makes it valuable. There's a limit of supply here. So some of the Bitcoin that was actually hacked and stolen from Mt. Gox ended up supposedly being sold illicitly through BTC-E, so the U.S. government shut them down. And in shutting them down, they didn't go to all the consumers like me and say, oh, we've shut down Mt. Gox, or we've shut down BTC-E. We notice you have a lot of Dogecoin here. Here's your private key for your wallet. They didn't give us that. So even though we never lost our password to BTC-E, the government intervention made the crypto we had supposedly inside of BTC-E have no value. So completely different causalities, the same result. None of that crypto is accessible to me and never will be accessible to me. And again, it is a cautionary tale, but I remain extremely optimistic because I know that had I been patient the first time, which by the way, I wouldn't have been. So I don't really feel like I lost anything, because if I had gotten access to it, I would have sold when Doge hit a penny, right? And then I would have had what, $1,000 or $10,000 or $100,000 instead of millions. So I've learned a couple of really important lessons. Number one, security, and number two, patience. That this is an emerging technology, and if it wasn't an emerging technology, there wouldn't be tremendous potential. And so if you want to look at something that has tremendous potential, it's also going to be an emerging technology, which means you need to take the time to get educated on how it works, technologically speaking, and you need to be patient. And that's really what we've focused in on now. And 2021 has been a great year, but I believe that 2022 is going to be one of the most exciting years in this space. And it isn't just what people think about in terms of Bitcoin. There's so many more blockchain projects that are happening. Blockchain is set to potentially revolutionize parts of the medical field, which is going to improve the quality of life and maybe even extend lives at some point. So blockchain isn't just about buying low and selling high. It is about our society globally growing and taking advantage of some new technology that can be very beneficial in aspects of our life that we maybe never even thought of. So
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's why I got involved when it comes to blockchain, is because I wanted to see improvement in our financial system. I understand this is the future of our economic system, like the way that we're doing things digitally. And if people get that now, they can actually break away from the old style of finances. I mean, the old style of finances has been so centralized, and they've taken advantage of the people so hardcore that we're now having an equal opportunity. But if people don't know and understand what we have today, they won't get ahead. So I like how you're saying, just like we felt that we lost out on different cryptos a long time ago, or Bitcoin a long time ago, or certain things, there's many people starting today that they'll look back 5 years from now like, man, 2021, can you believe this is where the market was? Now look at it now. So that's why I always tell people to get prepared.
And you mentioned something really important: the unbanked and the underserved in the banking community. That number is far bigger than most people think. Just the ability to transfer funds from one country to another. Sometimes healthier family members go to countries and areas that have stronger economies in order to work and send money back home to sick moms and dads, grandmothers, aunts and uncles, etc. And cryptocurrency allows the unbanked and the underserved in the banking community to have access to instantaneous value transfers through cryptocurrency, to actually have representation in the economy, and we could go to voting as well. I mean, there are so many applications of blockchain that I really think that what we all want is, of course, to improve our lifestyle and our family's lifestyle and our safety and security. But I think what we all want truly and beyond that is to make the world a better place. And I know it sounds idealistic. I get it. If I had heard myself saying this when I was 18, I would have said, pshaw, we're not going to change the world. But the reality of it is, Reggie, we are changing the world. By participating in the blockchain and in working with cryptocurrency projects and other projects, we are all giving the next generation and future generations an opportunity to have a better world. And that's
Absolutely.
what blockchain can do. And I'm super excited to be a part of it, not just at a micro level, what can we do today, but at a macro level. How can this generation do something really positive for future generations? So I'm sorry for talking too much here, Reggie,
No,
but
that's
man, I
perfect,
get
Jay.
excited about it.
I do too, and that's why I'm so excited that you're speaking, because everyone at home and all of our members, everyone get to know this and realize that this is some powerful information. The more you take in this information, the more we connect with Jay Joshua and show his techniques, his skills, and what he's currently doing. You have to understand you're learning from the best of the best, and that's why we're so surprised, and that's why we're so happy here. So I definitely don't want to take up too much of your time.
No
We
problem.
appreciate this. We don't want the audience, and we don't want them to find out everything from this one interview, because we're going to be scheduling things out, doing some amazing things. But I would say the last couple of things that we can do is just give us a few, I would say a few tips,
Sure.
some of your, and also like if there's any amazing blockchain projects that you love out there, or if you want to do a quick screen share to show, how you do what you do and what
Yeah.
you're going to be showing people. That'd be great.
Yeah, the first fundamental thing that I think I want to show more on the trading side here is I believe that anyone who wants to interact with crypto should understand this oscillating up and down nature we talked about. And the very best way to do that is by understanding moving averages. And I know there's a lot on this chart, but in reality, it's really simple. It's a standard trading chart. This is BTC, Bitcoin to US dollar tether. And the source of it is actually coming from Binance.com. And I'm looking at a one-day chart here. And one of the mistakes that a lot of new people make is they're trying to look at 1-minute candles or 5-minute candles or 3-minute candles, and it can drive them absolutely nuts. It's a lot better to kind of zoom out a little bit and make your decisions with more information instead of less information. So I primarily use 4-hour candles and 1-day candles at a minimum. And here we can see this is Bitcoin in real time. Price of Bitcoin at the time we're recording this is $48,125. And you can see we're kind of on a downtrend. But while most of the people around the world are like, oh my gosh, what's happening? Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Well, the group that we work with to train and educate every day, we're not concerned because we're not actively in trade. Now, I want to clarify, we still have a long-term buy and hold that I'm not willing to sell for several more years because I just want to let this opportunity mature and I want to have patience. But for those of you that are going to be doing positional trading or swing trading, could be a 1-day trade, could be a 1-month trade, could be a 1-year trade, we're not actually trading here. And the reason is because there are some things that we know. And I'll get into this in great detail, but the first thing we know is that this green line is a 50-day moving average, and this white line is a 200-day moving average. And we're going to show everybody how to set that up on their charts for free over at TradingView or any other charting source that you want. And so we have confirmation number 1, which is back over here around September 15th, that the 50-day moving average crossed above the white line. And then the next confirmation we got was over here on October 2nd, 2 weeks later, when the price of Bitcoin jumped up over this 200-day moving average. And then you can clearly see what happened. Bitcoin went up. And if you pay close attention to this orange line here, when Bitcoin finally confirmed a close in price below this orange line, which is a 20-day moving average, this is where we sold. Okay, so this is where we sold, and we sold at around 62,000 and we bought at around 46,000. So if you do the math on that, we actually we did okay. We didn't do too bad. We actually made money on that trade, as we do every single time that we follow these moving averages. That was about a 33% gain with no leverage needed, and that trade actually it went from like October 2nd to November 17th, so we were up 33% in 6 weeks or so. Now, the converse of this is equally important, and I'll try to go through this as quick as possible, Reggie. But the converse of this is also true, that when the price falls below the 50-day moving average, you want to wait that out in almost every circumstance. And the reason is because you want to let it sort itself out and wait for this to bottom out. You'll know that it bottoms out, and here's what everybody's trying to do. They're looking over here and they're like, oh, this is the floor, and then it falls more, and they're like, this is the floor. And it's fine to accumulate if you're going to DCA there, and we'll talk about which type of trading style works best for that. A lot of people are putting in $5, $50, $100, $1,000 every week into their trading account, so they can afford to just DCA and accumulate during this phase, and that can work out really well. But for those who want to be a little bit more precise, you can just simply wait this out. And Reggie, you're going to know when this market turns back around, because price is going to jump back up over that 50-day. And I don't know when it's going to happen. It could happen tomorrow, could happen a week from now, could happen 14 days from now, or 6 months from now. But at some point, price is going to jump back up over that 50-day moving average, and that's the entry point that is going to be preferred by professional traders for a positional or swing type move. Now, the other really important thing here is that all of the other altcoins, whether it's Ethereum or Matic or BNB or any of the exciting blockchain projects that are out there right now in the metaverse, which I'll talk about here just for about 10 seconds in a moment, they all are going to follow Bitcoin's lead. So Bitcoin dominance is that if Bitcoin is in decline and price is below the 50-day, that's probably not going to be the best entry point unless you're doing a weekly or a regular basis DCA. So there's a lot of really popular ones out there. One that we traded heavily as a group because it was super available here for U.S. exchanges was Mana or Decentraland. There are other great projects out there like Engine, Sand, and others. But many people will remember that Facebook changed its parent company name to Meta, which is short for the metaverse. And what is the metaverse? The metaverse is a blockchain project where instead of just chatting with people with our keyboards right on Facebook or doing a little video like we're doing, you can actually go into a digital space and your physical representation can be represented with an avatar digitally. And it could look almost exactly like me, or maybe I want to be a bumblebee or I want to be a dragon, right? So in the metaverse, you can actually change how you appear to other characters in the game, and that's really where Facebook is going. And on news of that, a lot of the metaverse projects like Mana, Decentraland, or Engine, many of these other ones, they all just kind of took off. Well, we got an early indication on close that right around $1.50 that hey, prices jumped up significantly and prices closed up significantly above that green 50-day line. And I know my drawing's a little higher up because it spiked a lot in that first day, and people are like, well, we missed it. No, you didn't miss anything. It went all the way from $1.50 and it actually peaked out here. It actually peaked out, in this case, it peaked out at about 318%. But we let it ride all the way up, and we just waited for price to confirm close below the 20-day moving average, and we picked up a nice little 195% profit, give or take. And then what do we see here? We see price is now currently below the 50-day moving average. So we're just going to wait this out. We're going to wait for price to come back up over and confirm above the 50-day, and give all the other, all the other confirmations we'll talk about, whether it's RSI or MACD or money flow index. We're going to look for some additional confirmations for this next round because we want to make sure that we're making a confirmed trade. But we'll probably re-enter when price, depending on where it all falls out. But we think price is going to be between $3.50 and $4 when the price turns back around. And we'll take a smaller entry than we did here. And again, once again, we're just going to ride it up. We're going to follow these moving averages. averages, and that's really it in short. If I could just summarize everything here, and that is that it's not magic. Okay, the behaviors of individual traders collectively as a group define where the market is going to be. The value of cryptocurrency, or a stock for that matter, is based on collective belief in the future value of it. So if we all agree that Bitcoin is $100,000, it will be $100,000. And so the value of cryptocurrency is by consensus, and understanding how everyone is voting with their wallets or their exchange credits in this case, and watching those moving averages will all of a sudden, it's not mystical anymore. And I have every day people are saying, well, it just went down again, it just went down again. And I'm like, I know it went down again, but we were all out of trade like several weeks ago. We all talked about it. I don't know why you're still in trade. Price is below the 50-day. Unless you're doing DCA, I don't know why you're in trade right now. Now, long-term buy and hold, it can go down to 20 grand. I don't care. I'm not selling, because I believe that the big people at a lot of the centralized banks, which are not always our friends, but now they're even saying, yeah, Bitcoin's going to go to 500 grand. And, you know, we don't know what the future is going to hold. And I'm just kind of gently quoting what I've read them to say. But the point is that if you believe in building a better world, then educating yourself on blockchain and on cryptocurrency gives you a great advantage to make the best decisions for you and potentially for a lot of other people. So thanks for letting me share today, Reggie.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jay. And we really appreciate you coming on board with Enigma. We're looking forward to all the great information you're going to bring. And just this interview alone, oh my goodness.
Awesome.
People are going to love what you have to say.
Thank you.
So if you're out there watching, we just want to say we really thank you for coming out. We're going to be putting together some great, amazing information as you've seen today. And Jay's he's happy. He's ready to bring his stuff on. So thank you very much, Jay. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. Have a great one.
You too. Cool.